Good morning, everyone. It is 9 a.m. Thanks for clicking on WGRZ+ for our Daybreak Plus streaming newscast.
Yeah, we've got a ton for you today, a lot to get to, including a look at what makes Josh Allen such a beast on game day.
I bet there's a lot that goes into it. Yeah. He's peeling back the layers of that onion a little bit, though, to give us some insight into that game day routine, and it is fascinating, to say the least.
Yeah, well, you know what? Everyone loves all things Josh,
sure.
Right? At least right now. But everyone loves all things James, too, because the weather forecast today and tomorrow is just incredible, right?
Wow, you put me into some tough company there with Josh Allen. I could never live up to how awesome that dude is, that's for sure. All right, yeah, well, we might all love everything weather-wise here today, no doubt. The patchy frost, Pete, diminishing, rapid warm-up here today. We've got a big climb to go here, so and we're going to do it. Look at that. We're already in the 40s. Dunkirk, the southerly winds doing the trick at 42. 40 degrees here in Erie. Bradford at 34. We started out in the mid-20s. I think Bradford started out at about 23 when we went on the air at 4:30. So 4:30 this morning. So we're already seeing that warm up nicely here this morning. So great little pop in the temperatures in a short amount of time. Yesterday we went on the air. It was like 31 degrees and we never broke out of the 30s. Today we're going to see a 30-degree temperature increase. In fact, the warmer air already starting to make some inroads. You see this yellow shading? It's starting to push off to the east here, so we absolutely love that. Erie now is 10 degrees warmer at the hour than at this point yesterday. Dunkirk, 11 degrees warmer, and we're pushing the cold air aside here. So out with the old and in with the new, at least for a day or two. All right, let's check out those temperatures. High numbers today in the upper 50s. 4 o'clock, we're at 58 degrees. 6 o'clock, 57. Get home from work, want to go for a walk, walking the dog, what have you. That strollcast is looking really, really good for this afternoon. All right, so we got some snowflakes and flurries flying through Canada. None of that for us here in Buffalo, in the city, and in the South Towns and the Southern Tier along the 90. Looking great. Southern Tier Expressway looking great. South Towns, Hamburg looking awesome. Orchard Park, nothing to worry about here today either. All right, so here's the story. That southwest wind, you know what? Future winds are going to top out about 20 miles an hour. So, yeah, sort of blow towards southwesterlies. And when that happens, we see these rapid warm-up situations where we're taking the warm air from the south and literally, pushing it in our direction. By 2:30 or so, it just looks great here. So nothing to worry about. Don't forget the shades today. All right, so future wind gusts, I talked about it briefly here, but watch what happens as we get closer to noontime. We're looking at wind gusts in Buffalo about 24 miles an hour here. Dunkirk at 20, Jamestown at about 20, 26 miles an hour at 3 o'clock, but that's a warm wind. That's a southwesterly wind, so vigorous warm air moving in on the heels of those breezy conditions. All right, that warm air is in our nation's midsection, so right around KC, and that'll continue spreading eastward here. So a bit of what we like to call in the meteorological world an omega block here. So if you were to take the jet stream, it would do something like this, sort of resembling the Greek letter omega. All right, so there's that warm air moving towards us here. Unfortunately, on the other side of that omega block is a dip, and that cold air is out to the west, and eventually that cold air will make its way from the western portion of the United States and scoot in our direction. So we don't want it to stay too long. All right, here's the story. We get some rain in here, a few showers here on Thursday. Friday looks pretty good in terms of not getting any rain. Saturday, not so much. We'll talk about that in your 7-day forecast coming up. 58 here, mainly sunny, chilly start today as we move in towards tonight. 45, it's clear. The winds are light, but 45 for the overnight low. We got down into the 20s this morning. So if we're starting out tomorrow in the mid-40s, here's where we're going tomorrow, into the lower 70s, record-breaking high temperatures. Are they within reach? They're within reach. Will we break the record? Remains to be seen. We'll call it record challenging highs. Thursday, 54 degrees. And as we move in towards Friday, there it is. Absolutely normal temperatures, much lower than what we have tomorrow. But, that's exactly where we should be for this time of year. And as we head in towards, Thursday in the South Towns and the Southern Tier, right around 50 degrees. And by Friday, again, very similar temperatures into the 40s. So, yeah, up, down, the erraticness of Western New York March weather continues, but let's enjoy the warmth while we have it, guys.
We certainly will. All right, very good, James. Thanks. We'll check back in with you in a little bit. Well, there's really no off season when it comes to Bills Mafia. So let's talk about Josh Allen. He is now the league MVP quarterback. He's the highest paid player in NFL history, and he's a Wyoming University Hall of Fame inductee. Some people might wonder, how he gets ready to deliver on the field every Sunday. Well, he shed some light on his pregame routine with NFL Films.
Throw up before every game. Just
Interesting.
because.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's not nerves, because I know you're not
It's
nervous
not nerves.
anymore.
It's really weird. I think going back to college, when I played, I'd always have like this mucus. I threw up before the Detroit game 2 years ago, preseason. Throughout the game, I didn't like have any mucus, so I was like, I might have to start doing that. So after every pregame warm-up, I go inside and teammates will watch me and they'll cheer me on. Sometimes I throw up.
This is the greatest thing I've heard ever. Your teammates will cheer you on when you're throwing up?
Yeah. Get it out, Josh. Get the demons out, you know, so that's
This is
that.
a close team.
Yeah.
I get it. I get why there's a
And
family
I
feeling.
got a couple other guys that throw up as well.
Dude,
So
it's a family affair.
Well,
Do you see my face right now?
yeah, the look. We should have had a split screen there, because the look on your face was total confusion. Like,
Right.
really?
I mean, I can understand if you overexert yourself during the game and you throw up, then that can happen. But he makes himself throw up before every game as part of his pregame routine.
Yeah.
Obviously, his trainers are okay with it. It's working for him. Whatever he's doing is working. But Pete, do you have a?
Would you call that football-emic?
Oh.
I had to. No, I never really had not that type, but I knew players who throw up, but mainly nerves, you know. And this seems like it's a pregame ritual to clear out his breathing tract. It's like that's a little unusual.
Any hockey routines for you before games?
Nah,
Or listen to any certain music?
No, we just repeat every movie we ever saw, basically dating back to the 80s. We have a repertoire, and that's usually the conversation. But I'll put my equipment on the same way every time.
Oh,
But that's,
do you?
That's about it.
Okay.
You know,
What about pre-show routines for Daybreak?
I'll put my makeup on the same way every time.
That is true. Yeah, we're sitting at our desk before the show going through scripts, and I'm doing my hair and makeup at the desk and drinking a lot of coffee.
Well, then we do the wind sprints in the parking lot.
Yes.
They have us running at least a mile and a half before every show.
Maybe we need to get a show handshake or something. I don't know.
Oh, yep. Well, we'll have to work on that. Milton will have to come up with something special.
All right.
All right. Well, it is 2 in a row for the Sabres. They shipped off to Boston, and they spoiled St. Patrick's Day in Beantown, beating the Bruins in overtime. Peyton Krebs, you just saw, he opened the scoring, and then it looked pretty bad. The Sabres gave up 2 before the end of the first period, trailing 2-1. Second period, Owen Power ties things up at 2, and that's where the score would stay for the rest of regulation. And then there it is, the overtime winner. Alex Tuck gets the last touch on the puck at the shot taken by Owen Power. And that is good for the game as the Sabres skate out of Boston with a win.
I think it was a solid game for sure. I mean, I think definitely some areas where we got to clean up, but I think overall it was a solid road game, and obviously nice to get the win in overtime.
We started out hot. I think it was really good. We came at them hard. We need those starts on the road. Took a little bit of time off there in between and got our game back late second, early third, and continued to put the pressure on them. So, yeah, it was fun. Good to finish it off in OT, so we don't have to worry about the shootout.
There you go, because they had to worry about the shootout Saturday against the Vegas Golden Knights. But the Sabres now winners of 2 in a row. They play their first ever game at Utah on Thursday night.
The Sabres, you just never really know what you're going to get. They might have a 3-goal lead and then they blow it. And in the last 2 games, they've come from behind and they've managed to win. So you just don't know with this team.
They seem to, I mean, at the beginning of the year, especially in that 13-game losing streak, they seemed to fall apart when adversity presented itself. They're starting to get over that. So hopefully it's a sign of maturity, and hopefully it builds into next season, because unfortunately, it looks a lot like another year without the playoffs.
Yeah. Are you excited about seeing this game in Utah, playing it in Utah for the first time? Or is it just another
I'd be
game?
more excited if the hockey team had a name. You know,
The Utah
really-
Hockey Club.
Well, you know, and then you sit there and sports marketing people out there go, what, you can sell a whole season of jerseys this year, and then next year when they name the team, you can sell another set of jerseys.
That happens.
But yeah, it's all about the money, right?
So we talk Bills, we talk Sabres. Let's talk some March Madness, shall we? The St. Bonaventure's men's basketball team is getting ready for postseason play. They are getting set to open the NIT tonight right here at home. They're playing against Kent State. The Bonnies going 22-11 overall this season, falling to the eventual A10 champion VCU in the conference tournament quarterfinals. St. Bonaventure turned down an NIT invite last year, but they are back in the tournament this season.
It's really exciting. Now have an opportunity to play in the NIT, especially at home. That's a tribute to the season that we had, a tribute to our players. It just speaks to the numbers that we had, the metrics, and it speaks to the season that we had.
And the Bonnies and Golden Flashes tip off tonight at 7 o'clock.
Now, as for the women, UB women's basketball team will be playing in the WNIT. They've already advanced, though, heading straight to the second round because they had a bye for the first round. They'll face the winner of UMass and Stonehill in the next round. The date, time, and location yet to be determined. And once again, you've got until about noon on Thursday to get your brackets ready for the, Division I NCAA tournament.
You filled yours out?
No, I haven't, but I will, and I'll do it very last minute, and I'll just randomly pick because I really do not follow, but it makes it more fun to watch the NCAA and watch March Madness for a couple weeks when you've got a stake in it.
Yeah, especially when you can pick that underdog, because like Gonzaga came out years ago when no one knew anything about them,
right? And
they just kind of ran the table and started something special.
Yeah, and
is it Gonzaga or
Gonzaga?
Gonzaga.
Or Gonzaga.
Or Gonzaga.
But not Gonzaga. Not the way you said it.
I knew it was something different than I normally pronounce it, but
There's the two different
Gonzaga.
ways. But I love following the underdogs, and the Bonnies had that run where they were the underdogs for a couple years ago, and Florida Gulf Coast University. Remember that when they made it really, really far, and they were the 16 seed. So it's fun to see if the 16 beats the 1, and rarely happens. But it's entertaining.
Yeah, and when you think of the heritage that Buffalo has in college basketball, going back to Canisius and Bonnie and Niagara, the big three. Well, I'm dating myself again, right? Calvin Murphy and Bob Lanier and those guys. But it's cool to see. It's especially even if you're not a basketball fan, you get kind of swept up in it.
So don your Buffalo Braves jersey and watch the NCAA tournament.
Adrian Dantley lives.
All right, let's talk about Forever 21. If you've got 20-year-olds at home, you know that they probably shop there. But it's closing all of its stores in the U.S., and those stores you can find them now in the Walden Galleria and the fashion outlets. But this, former leader in youth retail fashion has filed for bankruptcy for a second time. So the company says foreign competition, rising costs, economic challenges, and evolving consumer trends were to blame. Now, for the time being, stores and the company's U.S. website will remain open as they search for a last-minute buyer. But yeah, the 20-year-olds who like Forever 21 shop online and go to Shein and those type of, and Amazon for low-cost, outfits, and they just don't go to the mall anymore. And that's where you're finding Forever 21 as an anchor store. Yeah, the brick and mortar is unfortunately going through some rough times, but I spent a lot of time in Forever 21 having 2 daughters. Oh, yeah. But you think about finding the seat, finding the dad or the boyfriend seat. That's exactly right. Yeah. Wandering through, is there anything in here for me? Right. No. I'll be out in the mall, sitting on the bench. Yeah. In this case, it's right near Five Guys. So you get that smell. Oh yeah. So we'll let you know if we hear what's going to take over for Forever 21. And so that just have to go straight to Five Guys. Right. Shucks. Well, get this. Speaking to parents out there of college-age kids, Harvard says tuition will be free for families making $200,000 or less. Wow. The new plan's going to enable about 86% of the U.S. families to qualify for Harvard financial aid. Undergraduate students from families with annual incomes of $100,000 or less will also have housing, food, health services, and other student services covered. The annual tuition for an undergrad student is roughly $56,000 a year, but that with the addition of housing and everything else that goes along with it, the cost of attending Harvard with no financial aid, about $82,000 a year. Right now, about 55%
of Harvard undergrads receive some type of financial aid. But
That's
really,
an amazing
yeah.
move. And if Harvard starts doing that, offering free tuition for kids in families making under $200,000, think of what other elite or Ivy League colleges will now start doing this, and then others. I mean, it got to a point where no one could afford to go to a four-year school, and you know what, there's nothing wrong with kids deciding also that they might want to forego college to go into the trades or go right into the workforce if they know that they're going to be paying off hundreds of thousands of dollars in loans, and it will take them years to make it back. So I give Harvard a big kudos to making, a top-notch education available for kids who really need it.
And from the Harvard perspective, they'll truly be able to get the best and brightest, right? If only this was around when I was going to college, because I'd have looked great in Harvard maroon.
Yes. Yeah, it's a really great move, and as you said, like it's great for Harvard. It's great for the students who want to go there. It seems like a win-win.
Oh, I was just told you still need good grades and be able to get in academically.
That's true.
All right. Well, green and gold. Green and gold for me all the way.
Brockport.
That's right.
All right. Stay with us. We'll be right back right after this quick break. Welcome back, everybody. We talked Bills, we talked Sabres. Now it's time to talk Bandits, shall we? Down in Angola, some recent news for a high school lacrosse coach who now is inspiring his next generation of players that he's coaching because he's now a Bandit himself.
Yeah, he's inspiring all of Bandit land for sure. Two on your sides, Andy Payton has the story about how this coach at Lakeshore is getting ready to suit up for the National Lacrosse League's reigning back-to-back champs.
Here we go, Brody.
Usually when you think about your high school coach,
Touch the line, fellas.
He isn't playing the sport at the highest level on the side.
Yeah, we had an English teacher. He was awesome, Mr. Miggs. Shout out.
But for these athletes at Lakeshore High School,
Here we go. Here we go.
the guy with the whistle has some pretty busy weekends.
Finish. Let's go. Finish this drill.
Ron John
Let's go, Simon. Lead the way.
is living a double life.
Make sure you're touching, Simon. I see you.
High school lacrosse coach by day and professional lacrosse player by night.
Ron John himself, he knows a lot more than just fundamentals when it comes to lacrosse.
The former Lakeshore standout always wanted to remain close to the program. And last week,
oh my God, I almost brought a tear to my eye. I'm not even kidding.
that dream became a reality.
I got a call from my GM at 3:30. Trade deadline was at 3. It ended at, so I knew something was up.
He was out on a phone call, and I was like, man, what is going on right now?
And that's when I got the news that I was traded to Buffalo.
When I heard that B come out of his mouth, I was like, no way. That's insane.
Offering his players a somewhat new experience.
Yep, yeah, so I've been lucky enough to play in Buffalo 3 times so far.
To return the favor.
They'll always come back and critique me the next Monday and say, you didn't do this right, or you weren't doing this, so it's always good, it's good fun.
But this new promotion,
Guys in your group, make sure we're counting.
still just secondary.
If I know one of my closest peers can make it, I know I can.
To what he says is his true purpose in the game.
See them get the success that they've worked for and they've earned, that's why I'm here. That's why I love it, man.
Family on 3. 1, 2, 3. Family.
On your side, Andy Payton, Channel 2 News.
Yeah, he's had a few stops. He started at University of Albany, and then he went out to Colorado, New York, and now Ottawa, and back to Buffalo.
Right.
So
just traded from Ottawa like last week. I think it was March 10th or so.
Yep.
And so, yeah, it's going to be excited. Friday is when the Bandits play next, and so he will be here in Bandit land as a local guy now playing for the team. There's another local guy on the team, though. His name is Zach Belter, and he's number 77. He went to Niagara Wheatfield, and then he played for the Bonaventure, or for the Bonnies. And so he was on the team last year, was his first season. And so now we've got 2 local guys who are on the Bandits.
yeah, and Tehoka Nanticoke was just over the border, 6 Nations, and he also played at Albany. So it's really cool to see these athletes getting a shot. Hopefully they can do it as a full-time job sometimes. You know,
Yeah, to think that this
start raking it in.
guy's a lacrosse coach at high school, and then, oh yeah, he's on the Bandits in his spare time.
Yep.
But a lot of these guys, yeah, they've got full-time jobs, and this is their weekend gig, is playing for the Bandits and playing in the NLL.
Such a great sport. And
so much fun to watch. I'm going to the game with Elliot on Friday. I love Bandits games. They're exciting. The music is blasting throughout the game. It's so much fun. It flies by. Lots of cheering because there's so much scoring. And you also get to cheer for a really good Buffalo team.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Go shooting for back-to-back-to-back. James, maybe you want to extend your stay in Buffalo for Friday night.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Game.
Love some lax, right? And the Bandits are doing great, so love to check it out. All right, let's check out what's happening here. Morning chill gives way to the 50s today. Warmer tomorrow, near record high temperatures, and then the showers likely going to return for Thursday. So yeah, let's enjoy the sunshine and the warmth while we have it. All right, Erie at 40 here, Dunkirk at 42, Jamestown at 31. Look at that. That's a tremendous warm-up already, particularly along the lakeshore, considering that we started out in the 20s here this morning. And how is that? Well, warm southwesterly winds. It's not a coincidence that Erie and Dunkirk have wind speeds at 16 and 17 miles an hour. That's helping to propel those temperatures up and up nicely here. Upper 50s is where we're going on the heels of those breezy southerly winds, and of course lots of sunshine. You put the two together, and it's a perfect combination. If you want to do 2 to 2, we'll find another couple variables to add in there. All right, so we got some snow going by well to the north. None of that for us here in western New York. See ya. We got great weather here, and we're going to enjoy highs today in the upper 50s and near record high temperatures on the way for tomorrow. So high numbers today, 58 going to do it, mainly sunny. It was a chilly start, but guess what? It's going to be a much warmer finish tonight. 45 on that overnight low. That's not bad. That's great. So getting up tomorrow morning, no frost. And you got a really nice easy roll as you head out the door for work and school. Highs near record breaking tomorrow. A few showers on the way for Thursday, and it looks like Friday is a return to near normal temperatures. So we're almost disappointed to have normal highs after this month.
But things are looking good right now. It's very spring-like, and baseball season is in the air. We are exactly 10 days away from opening day at Salem Field. Next Friday, can you believe it? Well, crews will be getting out and getting ready for the Bison season. The crews will be out giving the outfield grass its first mow of the season at 1 o'clock this afternoon. This is video from last year. The Bisons will host the Red Wings of Rochester on opening day.
Yeah, opening day, March 28th. But as for the MLB, well, the boys of summer are already at it, just not here in the States. Yeah, the Dodgers and the Chicago Cubs are in Tokyo right now to start the season. Actually, first pitch was at 6 a.m. our time, and LA took the game 4-1. It's all part of the league's Tokyo series, with games being played at the Tokyo Dome. The Cubs and the Dodgers boast 5 Japanese stars, including Shohei Ohtani for LA and Shitaima Naga for Chicago. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. The rest of the league actually starts the season on March 27th, one day before the Bison start.
All right. You know, it takes a while for spring to kind of get a hold of Western New York, but once it does, it's here.
Yeah. Kind of, sort of, because there are Mother's Days and Easters where we have snow sometimes. I remember a Mother's Day out on the golf course with Elliot, and it was snowing.
Well, we'll have to see if opening day is hot dog and beer weather and hang out in the afternoon.
There have been seasons where they've had to push back opening day because of snow on the ground. So hopefully that won't be the case. They're going out to mow the grass today, and hopefully the nice weather that we have today and tomorrow will somehow make a comeback for 10 days from now.
Yeah, they gave it their first mow last year, several days, I think it was the 13th. So fingers crossed for next Friday, right?
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll be back here at 9 a.m. tomorrow with another Daybreak Plus. Enjoy your day in the sunshine.